The forest was quiet. Moonlight shone through the tall blue trees. Strange glowing plants moved slowly in the wind. It looked peaceful, but something dangerous was happening. A tall alien woman ran between the trees. Her skin was silver blue, and her eyes were wide with fear. She held the hand of a small alien child, her daughter. The child was only 5 years old, with soft glowing hair and innocent green eyes. They both breathed hard, their legs tired, but they could not stop. "They are close," the mother said in her alien language. Her voice was weak, but her grip on her daughter's hand was strong. Behind them, in the dark, something moved. A sharp sound, the crack of a branch. The mother turned quickly, her eyes scanning the shadows. She knew who was following them. Hunter. Not a normal one. This was a royal tracker sent from her home planet. He was deadly, silent, and cruel. He had only one mission: bring the child back, alive, but not safe. The alien mother knew what that meant. Her child was special, born with powers that her people feared. That's why they ran. That's why they had escaped across the stars. That's why she would give her life to protect her daughter. Suddenly, they reached a small cliff. The forest ended, and the ground dropped sharply. Far below, a human base was hidden between the hills. Lights glowed from metal towers. Alien ships were scattered, half buried in the dirt. This was Earth, a broken Earth. But it was still safer than home. The mother looked down. No way to climb. No time to go around. She turned back to the forest. That's when it happened. Whoosh! A sound in the air, sharp, fast. She felt it. Before she saw it, an arrow. It flew straight toward her daughter. No! The mother cried out. She jumped in front of her child, arms wide. The arrow hit her back. Pain exploded through her body. She fell to her knees, shaking. Blood, dark purple, started to soak through her thin robe. But she didn't let go of her daughter. She pulled her close and covered her like a shield. The child cried, "Mama! Mama!" The mother whispered, her voice fading. "Don't be afraid. Stay quiet. Hide." She looked up, eyes blurry, and saw the hunter step from the trees. Tall, armored, face hidden behind a black mask. He carried a bow with glowing arrows. The hunter walked slowly toward them. But then, a new sound. A shout, "Stop right there!" The hunter froze, a human voice. Loud, angry, commanding. From the edge of the cliff, a human soldier appeared. His armor was dirty, but his eyes were sharp. He held a rifle, pointed straight at the alien hunter. The hunter turned to face him. The human did not back down. "Step away from them," he said. The hunter aimed his bow at the soldier. The human didn't wait. Bang! He fired once. The shot missed the hunter but hit a tree nearby. The hunter jumped back into the shadows and disappeared into the forest. Silence returned. The soldier lowered his rifle and ran to the alien mother and child. He knelt beside them, carefully. He could see the mother was badly hurt. The arrow was still in her back. Her breathing was shallow. He looked at the child. She was shaking, scared, but not hurt. She stared at him with wide, glowing eyes. "It's okay," the soldier said gently. "I'm not here to hurt you." The child didn't speak. He looked back at the mother. Her eyes opened slowly. She saw the human and tried to move her body to protect her daughter again. "Easy. Easy," the man said. "You're safe now." The mother didn't understand the words, but something in his voice, something in his face, told her to trust him. She closed her eyes and went still. The child whispered, "Mama?" The soldier knew she needed help now. He took off his jacket, wrapped it around the child, and then carefully lifted the mother into his arms. She was light, too light and cold. But she was still alive. The child followed close, holding onto the soldier's leg. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know who these aliens were. But he knew one thing: he couldn't leave them behind. The rain started just as he crossed the edge of the forest. Small drops at first, then heavy. Cold water ran down his face and soaked through his uniform. But the man didn't stop. He had an alien woman bleeding in his arms. A strange child walked beside him, her small hand clutching the back of his jacket. Her glowing green eyes never blinked. She was silent, but her fear screamed louder than words. The soldier's name was Corbin, and he had no orders for this. He was trained to follow rules, to fight enemies, to stay alive, not to carry dying aliens, not to break the law for someone he didn't even understand. But something about the way that woman jumped in front of the arrow, the way she shielded her child, it reminded him of someone he lost. He walked faster through the ruined Earth base, once a proud human camp, now mostly metal junk and rusting walls. No one stopped him. Most people were hiding from the storm or too tired to care. Corbin turned into an old building, one used for storage now. The doors were half broken, no cameras, no guards, perfect for hiding. He laid the alien mother on a pile of old blankets. The arrow was still in her back. She was breathing, but just barely. The child sat next to her mother, touching her face gently. "Mama," she whispered. Corbin knelt down, opened his bag, and pulled out a small med kit. His hands shook a little. He'd done field surgery before, on soldiers, even on himself once, but never on an alien. He looked at the arrow. The material wasn't wood. It was dark crystal alien tech. Removing it could kill her. But leaving it in would definitely kill her. Corbin sighed. "All right, let's try not to kill each other." He spoke to the child even though she didn't understand him. "I need you to be brave, okay?" She didn't answer. But she didn't run. She simply nodded once. Carefully, Corbin cut open part of the alien robe. Her skin underneath was shining. Silver blue, like polished metal, but soft like human skin. Blood oozed slowly around the wound. He used the medkit scanner. It beeped red. Mad sign. "Damn," he muttered. "You really took a hit, didn't you?" He took a breath, then pulled the arrow out in one quick motion. The mother's body jerked, but she didn't wake. The child gasped, but didn't scream. Corbin sealed the wound using biogel from the kit. It hissed as it touched her skin, then hardened into a silver patch. "That's all I got," he said. "Now it's up to her." He sat back, exhausted. His uniform was soaked. The room smelled like metal, wet dust, and alien blood. He looked at the child. "What are you two running from?" he asked softly. "Who wants you dead so badly?" The child tilted her head. She couldn't answer, but her eyes, full of sadness, fear, and something deeper, stared into his. Corbin got up, walked to the door, and looked outside. Rain still poured. In the distance, he could see movement. Soldiers, drones, patrols. He knew the rules. Aliens found on Earth must be reported. Unknown species, especially those hiding, were threats. If anyone saw her, they'd take her, lock her in a lab. Maybe worse. He looked back at the sleeping mother and the quiet child. He saw his own daughter. Again, not her face. She was gone years ago. But the feeling, that deep, awful feeling of helplessness. He swore he would never feel it again. "I need to hide you," he whispered. "I don't know why, but I will." Just then, a voice crackled through his radio. "Corbin, report. You near Sector C?" He didn't answer. The voice repeated, louder. "We saw movement near the forest. Was it you?" He turned the radio off. He knew now. He wasn't just hiding aliens. He was making a choice. A human choice. One that could end his career. Maybe even his life. But he'd made it. Outside, hidden. In the forest, the alien hunter watched the base from a distance. His mask glowed faintly. He had lost the woman and child. For now, but he had marked them, and he was not alone. He didn't feel the rain. He didn't care about the cold. The alien hunter stood perfectly still on a high branch, eyes glowing behind his black mask. His long coat moved with the wind, but his body was like stone, silent, unmoving. He watched. The human base below through his visor, lights, motion sensors. Armed guards, none of it scared him. He had trained for decades to hunt across galaxies. His kind did not miss. His kind did not forgive. And most of all, his kind did not stop. Arrow had hit its mark. He had aimed for the child. The mother blocked it. That was expected. He had studied her mind before she escaped. He knew her weakness. Love, and now, she was bleeding in some dark human room, hiding like a wounded animal. The child was with her, the human soldier. Just a tool, temporary, weak. The va. Hunter tapped his wrist device. A faint red light blinked. Tracking signal active. The child carried it inside her, unknowingly. A piece of ancient tech fused in her. DNA. It called out to him like a beacon. He had time, she had nowhere to run. Meanwhile, inside the old Earth base, Corbin sat by the sleeping alien mother. Her breathing had slowed. The biogel had stopped the bleeding, but she was still weak. The child lay beside her, finally asleep. Her small hand held her mother's fingers tight. Corbin stared at them, confused. "What are you?" He whispered. He opened his notebook. It was full of maps, patrol routes, mission logs. He flipped to a blank page and began sketching. The arrow. He had kept it. Strange, dark crystal. Not metal. Not wood. It pulsed faintly, like it was alive. Human weapons didn't work like this. Alien weapons, most were high-tech plasma-based. But this was old. Almost. Sacred. He wrote, "Arrow, unknown material. Glows in dark, cuts clean. Not designed to kill fast, more like a message, a warning." Then he remembered the mother's eyes, not full of fear, but pain, deep pain. Like she knew who had shot it. He closed the notebook. There were two kinds of people in war, those who follow orders, and those who ask why. Corbin was starting to ask why. Flashback weeks earlier, a massive alien ship hovered above a red sky. Inside, glowing pillars surrounded a throne. The Queen of Valari, tall and covered in white robes, looked down at the kneeling hunter. "She has betrayed us," the Queen said. "She took the child, our future." The hunter bowed low. "Bring them back," she ordered. "Alive if possible. But the child must not remain on Earth. She carries the key." "The humans?" the hunter asked. "Do not matter," the Queen said coldly. "They are insects. Step on them if needed." The hunter stood and took one final gift, a single arrow carved from the heart of a dead star. Once used only for royal executions. Now, it was meant for the mother. Present, Earth, night, the hunter moved silently between trees. No sound, no trail. He approached the fence of the base. He scanned it, weak spots. Human tech was easy to break. He had done it before, but this time, he would wait. He wanted the mother to feel safe. He wanted the child to think they had escaped. Only then would he strike, when their hope was full. So he could tear it down. Inside the base, Corbin stood and looked at the child. She was awake again, staring. He noticed something strange. Her eyes, they shifted colors, glowing slightly. Not normal. He stepped closer. She looked at him. And then the wall. Suddenly, Corbin's radio crackled back to life, even though it was off. "Human, he is coming." The voice was not his. Not female, not alien. It came from the child. But her lips never moved. Corbin stared at her in shock. "What the hell are you?" The girl blinked, and finally spoke softly. "He follows the key, he follows." May, it started with a dream. The little alien girl stood in the middle of a burning forest. Blue fire surrounded her. The trees melted. The sky cracked open. A huge shadow with glowing red eyes stepped toward her. "You are not safe," the voice said. "You are the key, and the key must never wake." She screamed. Corbin jumped up. The girl sat up in her blanket, eyes wide, breathing fast. Her hands glowed faint green, the light pulsing through her skin like liquid. "Hey, it's okay," Corbin said, kneeling beside her, but she didn't look at him. She looked at the air, as if she saw something invisible. The alien mother groaned and opened her eyes slowly. Her wound was healing, but her body was still weak. The child looked at her and said something in her language, fast and scared. The mother pulled her close, whispering softly, calming her down. Corbin stepped back. He didn't understand the words, but he understood the feeling. They were hiding something. Later, as the storm calmed, Corbin sat with them again. He placed some food near the mother and child, simple rations. The mother looked at him, then nodded, a small sign of trust. He took a stick and drew on the dusty floor. A human, an arrow. The hunter, he pointed at himself. Then drew a question mark. The alien mother looked at the child, then slowly reached into a pouch hidden in her robe. Her fingers trembled. She pulled out a small glowing crystal. Shaped like a tear dot, it floated just above her palm. Corbin's eyes widened. The crystal gave off a soft hum, like music too quiet to hear. He felt it in his bones. "What is that?" he whispered. The mother pointed to the child, then to the crystal, then placed it near her own chest, her heart. Corbin watched closely. The child touched the crystal. Instantly, it responded, glowing brighter, showing moving lights inside it. Small shapes like stars floating in a circle. A projection appeared, not words, but memories, images, sounds, feelings. Corbin didn't understand it fully, but he felt it. Pain, escape, fear, hope. The girl was not just any child. She was created, not born, during the war on her planet. Part of an experiment. A way to store ancient knowledge in a living form. She wasn't carrying the crystal. She was the crystal. Corbin's mouth went dry. "The key," he whispered. "That's her." The mother nodded slowly. Then she made a new gesture, tapping her fingers to her forehead, then to the stars in the projection. Corbin understood. They want her because of what she knows, not just alien knowledge. Not just power, a map, a code, a weapon maybe. Something buried long ago, something that could destroy or save entire planets. The child began to hum soft, high notes, like a lullaby. The projection faded. Corbin sat back, overwhelmed. For the first time in his life, he was scared. Not of monsters or war, but of what this tiny child meant. She could change everything. Far away, the alien hunter knelt in the forest again. His visor showed a blinking red dot. The key had activated. "She's awake," he growled. From the shadows, 3 other hunters stepped forward. Smaller, thinner, but fast and silent. "Find the human," the lead hunter said. "Kill him. Take the child, leave the mother." They vanished into the night. Back in the dark room, Corbin began moving boxes, hiding anything that looked alien. He checked the door locks, rewired a broken alarm. "We don't have much time," he muttered. "I don't know what you are, but if they come for you, they'll have to go through me first." The mother stood weak, but determined. She nodded again. An alliance was formed. No words, no oath, just a shared promise. They would protect the girl. No matter what. Suddenly, the base lights flickered, then went out. Darkness. Then a sound, metal footsteps. Inside the base. The hunter had arrived. He did not knock. He did not speak. He simply stepped through the shadows and let the lights die around him. The hunter moved like a ghost between the outer walls of the human base. His armor drank the light. His boots made no sound. Security cameras turned to static. Motion detectors blinked, then fell silent, one by one. Room by room. The power died. To the humans inside, it looked like a blackout. But to him, it was the start of the hunt. He had waited long enough. Now he would take the child. Inside the abandoned storage room, Corbin was checking his weapon, an old Earth rifle with half a clip of ammo left. Not enough. Not even close. The alien mother leaned against the wall, holding her daughter. Her body still healing, her eyes tired, but sharp, watching, waiting. The child clung to her, silent. But her glow had returned, not bright, but steady. Like something inside her was fully awake now. Corbin paced the floor. Something's wrong, he said, mostly to himself. Too quiet, too fast. Backup power didn't even kick in. He stopped, listened. Footsteps. Metal on metal. Then silence. He raised his weapon. Stay down. Don't move unless I say. The mother nodded. She pressed the child gently into a dark corner and stood, ready to fight again. Even if her body shook from the pain, the air changed. Heavy, cold. Then, crash. The metal door exploded inward, blown off its hinges. Smoke filled the room. A red laser sight cut through the haze. Corbin fired first. 3 shots. Boom. Boom. The bullets passed through the smoke, but hit nothing. The hunter walked out of the fog, untouched. His armor shimmered. His mask showed no face, just 2 glowing red eyes. Corbin backed up. Get behind me. The hunter raised his hand, and from his arm, a curved blade shot forward, glowing faint blue. It wasn't a sword. It was alive. He lunged. Corbin barely rolled aside, feeling the blade slice air inches from his chest. He fired again. The bullets sparked off the hunter's armor. Nothing worked. The mother screamed something in her own language, a warning. The child stood up, her eyes fully glowing now. The light from her hands pulsed, growing brighter, brighter. Then, a burst. A shockwave of green energy filled the room. The hunter stumbled back, his visor cracked slightly from the blast. Corbin fell to the floor. What the hell was that? The child fainted. The mother rushed to her, holding her tightly. Her own glow faded fast. The hunter rose slowly, growling. She is waking, he said in a low voice. His voice was not natural. It sounded like 2 machines grinding together. Too soon. He stepped forward again. Corbin, bleeding from his shoulder, pulled a small grenade from his belt. Let's try this. He threw it. Boom. The explosion tore the floor open. Not enough to kill the hunter, but enough to buy time. The dust cloud gave them cover. The mother grabbed the child. Corbin grabbed the alien crystal. And they ran. They rushed into a lower tunnel, once used for storage, now dark and flooded with muddy water. Sparks flew from broken wires. Pipes hissed steam. Corbin held a flashlight in his teeth, rifle in his hand. He limped, his blood leaving a trail. Behind them, the hunter was not far. Every few seconds, a mechanical click echoed in the tunnel, his boots locking the walls, walking on ceilings, hunting from above. Shouted back, "We can't outrun him forever." The mother turned, held out her hand. A blast of force pushed a pile of crates down behind them, blocking the path for now. They reached a sealed hatch, rusted, half frozen. Corbin smashed the control panel with his rifle. The door opened with a painful screech. Inside, silence. Forgotten lab. Dust everywhere. Broken screens. Dried blood, but it was safe. For now, they collapsed behind metal crates. The child slept again, her body weak from the energy she released. Corbin pressed a cloth to his wound. The mother crawled to the wall and slowly lowered her head. Silence. Just breathing. Then, the hunter's voice, outside the door. "You can't hide her forever, soldier." Corbin looked toward the sound. "She is not yours. She is not theirs. She is ours. She carries the code. The star key. She was never meant to live." Corbin raised his rifle, even though his hands were shaking. "Well," he said, "maybe it's time someone broke the rules." Silence again. Then, footsteps moving away. The hunter wasn't giving up. Just regrouping. Far above the base in orbit, a massive alien ship floated into view. Inside, a tall female figure stood by a window, watching Earth. She is active, the Queen said. Prepare the second wave. There are two kinds of silence. One that brings peace, and one that breaks your soul. This silence was the second kind. The alien mother sat alone in the dark lab. Her arms were empty. Her body shook. Her child was gone. Taken. The hunter had come back during the night. Too fast, too smart. They never heard him enter. He used a sonic dart, something no human could detect. By the time Corbin reached for his weapon, it was too late. Now, the child was somewhere out there, locked away, being used. The mother's eyes no longer glowed. Her hands, once full of light and protection, now trembled in the shadows. Corbin stood nearby, leaning against the wall, jaw tight, blood dried on his face. He had failed. He hated that feeling more than pain. The silence finally broke when the mother did something unexpected. She stood up. No sound, no words. She walked over to a metal cabinet, ripped it open, and pulled out a device. Old, alien, covered in dust. It looked like a broken gauntlet. One side glowed faint red. Corbin stepped forward. You know what that is? She looked at him, then placed the device on her arm. It snapped to her skin and came alive. Light pulsed through her veins again. Her back straightened. Her eyes turned bright silver. No more hiding, Corbin said, understanding her message without needing words. We're going after her. Corbin led her into an old command room, its screens cracked but still alive. He pulled out a human datapad and connected it to the alien system using a stolen converter chip. The screen blinked. Data flowed. This place still talks to orbit, he said. If they took her up, we might have a signal. The mother leaned over the controls and touched a small spot on the screen. Her crystal lit up. Instantly, new patterns appeared. A map of Earth then. A glowing mark above it. There, Corbin said. Low orbit. A prison ship? The mother pressed her hand again. Another flash. A blueprint. A ship design. Not just any ship, one that could harvest memory. Designed to extract knowledge from the mind, especially alien minds. Corbin clenched his jaw. They're trying to pull the key out of her. They prepped fast. Corbin packed weapons, tools, and a suit built for exo-atmosphere. It barely worked, but it would have to do. The mother activated a pod hidden in the base's lower level, an alien escape ship. Buried long ago. The craft was small, silent, and fast. A stealth design from her planet. They climbed in, systems lit up, engines humming softly. As they lifted off, Earth grew smaller beneath them. Ahead, the cold black void. And the hunter's ship. Inside the prison ship, the child floated in. A containment field. Tubes connected to her arms and head. Machines hummed around her. She didn't cry. She waited, because somewhere deep inside she knew her mother was coming. And so was the human. Back in space, Corbin and the mother reached the enemy ship. It was massive. Like a floating tomb. Corbin checked his rifle. Once we're in, we've got maybe 15 minutes before their systems catch us. The mother touched his arm, not to stop him, but to steady him. They were a team now. They entered through a maintenance hatch. No alarms. Not yet. Inside, alien walls pulsed like muscle. The place felt alive. Corbin whispered, "This isn't a ship. It's a body," the mother nodded. She moved fast, leading the way. She remembered this place. She helped build it. Before she escaped, suddenly, movement. 2 guards, armored, tall, silent. The mother raised her hand. The gauntlet lit up. A wave of light knocked one guard back. Corbin fired at the other. Clean hit. They moved fast now. No time to slow. Door after door. Then, the central core. There. She was. The child floated, eyes closed. Machines drilling memories from her mind. The crystal inside her chest pulsed weakly. No! The mother whispered. The hunter turned. He stood in front of the core, waiting. You should have let her go, he said. Corbin raised his rifle. Not happening. The hunter stepped forward. This time, the mother struck first. She leaped, the gauntlet blazing. Corbin followed, covering her with fire. The room filled with light, sound, and fury. Outside, the ship began to shake. From deep within the systems, the child's energy had begun to fight back. The key was not asleep anymore.